Welcome, Bro Coverage. I am your host, Nick. Today, we're talking with Anish and the one-on-one he did with Chris Tabor. I'm doing my full reaction. Just in case you guys don't know, I do a reaction of all Panthers press conferences and events they put on, including soon-to-come full game reactions. I do pause. I do talk. We're going to do all that. Let's just jump right into it, though.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it.
Anish Shroff here with Chris Tabor, special teams coordinator turned interim head coach. Not the situation you want, I know, when you take over, but what was your sort of first message to the rest of the coaching staff in the locker room?
The message was we have a job to do, and we're all pros.
To be honest, the first message was fire Josh McCown, fire Deuce Staley. Then it was, we got a job to do.
And we have to handle ourselves like pros. It is a tough spot. You haven't won as many games as what you wanted to. You've had some injuries and those things, but it has to be next man up. And I expect you just to do your job at the highest level. And it's my job to help you achieve that. And if we can work on that together, then we give ourselves a chance to put ourselves in position to win.
A great message for our Carolina Panthers moving forward. It's a great message for any team. He was the previous interim coach with the Bears, which, just in case you do not know, I will have a full breakdown of Chris Tabor, his history, as well as coaching on the field and other decisions, other criticisms that others have had of him. Mostly positive, though, from what I've seen, but overall, I love the answer.
When you go back to last year being in this position, what did you feel changed that allowed the Panthers to get on a bit of a run?
You know, it's hard to say because I think when you comment on things like that, I think you're maybe saying negative things about what happened previously, and I never like going there. I just think you don't want to call it luck, but I think you finally see your preparation and your work, and it all kind of comes together, and then you start making some plays, and then in this game, it's about confidence. And then guys begin to get more confident, and all of a sudden you get on a roll. So hopefully we can just kind of continue to work on our process and keep working to get better, because that's what we're supposed to do. And then maybe we can turn the tide.
I know.
That answer. Again, I like his poise. I like what he brings. It's calm, but it's still conveying the message. I think that Frank just kind of saw the writing on the wall really early and knew that he was going to be let go midseason. So I think it got to the point where Frank was just kind of over it. I'm hoping that David Tepper does not push Chris Tabor to that level.
You were the special teams coordinator. People may not know you were once a quarterback too. Tell us about playing quarterback with St. Benedictine College.
Benedictine College in Atchison, Kansas. It's home of Amelia Earhart, actually, right there on the Missouri River. But
you know what? I'm going to make it a point. Just in case you guys don't know, I go back and forth between Florida and Colorado for my wife's health and a bunch of other reasons. But it's going to be one of those things. I'm going to make it a point that if Chris Tabor can win us at least 2 games, then I'm going to make a trip out there to this college, go see it, go see where he was from, make a whole video out of it. So shout out. Hopefully he does. He can get us some W's.
I grew up as a coach's kid. My dad was a longtime high school football coach in the state of Missouri, and God rest his soul, he's in the Missouri High School Hall of Fame, and really my idol. He actually coached Mike Rucker. In high school, yep, and I've known Mike since he was little, and obviously turned out to be a great player and, more importantly, a great person. But I just always wanted to be my dad, and that's really what I strive to be. And I hope he's looking down from heaven right now and smiling. But I had the opportunity to play quarterback at Benedictine College, and it was a small school that had a lot of success, and I played for a great legendary Hall of Fame coach and Larry Wilcox, who just retired a couple years ago. But I knew I wanted to get into coaching, and that place allowed me. I had an opportunity to play and have some success, and had made great friends. My wife went to school there and everything. So it was a great place and neat deal.
I think that that's going to be a big narrative moving forwards. It's not a big one right now, but watch it become one over the next decade or so. I think there's going to be a massive shift towards more former players being coaches. We're seeing that slowly start to change, especially in college football. I think it's going to be a very, very, very prominent thing moving forwards. And I think the idea of a Bill Belichick or an Andy Reid, where they really didn't play at a high level or anything like that, or even at all, that they are not going to be able to break through as easily. Like, those coaches are going to have to be absolutely exemplary, whereas former players are going to start getting the more mundane opportunities, as terrible as that is to say. Unfortunately, that's going to be where they have to start, and then they have to improve on that. But I think we're going to really, really, really see the shift just straight over that way.
You mentioned your dad being that first coaching influence. What are a few things you took away from him that have helped you as a coach?
Oh, simple. The one that resonates with me is being on the front porch on a summer day, kind of hanging out, and one of his former players who had graduated, maybe been in college or is a grown man now, stops to say, "Hey, where's Coach? I want to see Coach." And as a kid, I said, boy, my dad really influenced somebody. So I saw my dad make relationships with people.
Forever a coach.
Forever a coach. Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's what I took from it. I got in. I love football, I do, but I love the relationships that you build with the players, because really at the end of the day, if I see a player 20 years down the road, we're not going to talk about a game. We're going to talk about those moments in the meeting room, in the cafeteria, those type of things that brought us together. And to me, that's what's neat about coaching.
This isn't your first head coaching opportunity either. I know people talk about the one game.
And expect a full breakdown of Chris Tabor. I'm going to try and get it out tomorrow. So you should be getting it about December 5th.
Stint with Chicago, but tell me about Culver Stockton.
Culver Stockton, so I was coaching at the University of Missouri before that, and our staff got let go. And so I decided, I've always wanted to be a head coach, and this opportunity came, small school, and they hadn't won in 20 years. And we went and turned it around in the first year. And to this day, I will probably always say one of the greatest learning moments I'd ever had. And those kids that played for me.
What did you learn?
I learned how to be a better coach, how to handle people better. I was a young coach, probably full of fire and brimstone, and trying to, you see some coaches that yell and they think that's coaching. That's not coaching.
See, that's the thing. A lot of people really wanted, that were criticizing Frank, which again, I'm going to continue to say he deserved to get fired after a certain point. The minute he took away play calling, especially, I knew that that was the death knell. But you don't need to be a screaming Bobby Knight coach to do that. A lot of people will continue to take jabs at Frank for not being as boisterous or crazy on the sideline, but that's not coaching. That's somebody that doesn't have a grasp on their emotions. So I agree with Chris on this.
I learned how, I think, to be a better communicator there.
Exactly. Be better at communicating. Screaming is not communicating. I'm sorry.
And those kids, boy, they played their tail off, and they were a fun group to be around. And it's fun, going back to what we're talking about, it's fun to hear from those guys.
As you kind of look at what these next 6 games represent in terms of an opportunity for you and for the players on the field, what is your message to a locker room that needs to find just some victory somewhere, right?
Yeah, I think the message is this. It's simple. We're going to stay together. We're going to have some fun, but we're going to do it the right way, and that'll set us up to have success. And I think we're only going to be with each other. You never know. Players go, coaches go. But this is our one time together, and let's not lose sight of that, and let's support each other, and let's go.
Chris Tabor, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So overall, my thoughts, I enjoyed it. Of course, this is a very short scripted interview, essentially. They pretty much knew what they were going to say and everything like that. No crazy body language or anything like that. They're both very comfortable. Not really seen a whole lot by Anish. I think that's what he said. I'm sorry if I butchered that. But I'm excited to see more of it. Like I said, I'm finally getting into these breakdowns. Overall, this is kind of generic since it is a scripted thing and everything. I will not give this a grade like a normal press conference. These sort of ones there's no curveballs coming. There's nothing really to read. They're never, ever worried. So for that reason, like I said, no grade on this one. But overall, I'm happy. Chris Tabor looks like he can actually maybe get this team around each other, get them going. I'm excited for that. But I want to see what it looks like on the field. I'm actually recording this post-Bucks game, so I do know the ending did not come out the way that we wanted. So for that reason, not a great start, but a good start. Bad play calling on a third and a fourth down to lose the Bucks game, but overall we were in position, so I'm happy about that. I still think that the personnel is subpar, the thing that I've continued to say from the beginning, and eventually I will make a video of how everyone said that I was a troll to say that winning 2 games or 3 games was going to be a lot, and everybody said I didn't know ball, but man, if you looked at this roster before the preseason, you knew that it wasn't going to be able to perform. Chris, hopefully you can give us some juice moving forwards, but otherwise, regardless, I'm still a Carolina Panthers fan, unless they trade Brian Burns, but that's a whole separate subject for another day. I am Nick. This is Roll Coverage. Hopefully you have a great one. We'll see you soon.